I will
Yeah.
try.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody to another edition of Phoenix on the South End. We are here. We are here every week to try to be able to give each other support, each other various things like if we know people that are looking for various services, we can refer. And this is what it's all about. Online referrals is really the best way because you're dealing right with the person that's buying and that's offering the service. So it is a great way to be able to congregate that way and be able to get things done. Last night I had a person that says, "Do you know a good accountant?" I says, "Do I?" I absolutely do. I love giving referrals out, being able to help somebody that way. I introduced them last night, and hopefully they'll connect today. But this is the idea: is you become sort of a go-to person. Do you know a good mechanic? Do you know a good person that does mortgages? Do you know a good realtor? Do you know a good and a lot of people know realtors. It's been my experience that when a person deals with somebody and the relationship or the experience wasn't as good as perhaps they were expecting, and so now they're looking for a change. And those are the people that I like to say, well, I do know a good person, and I know this person is will give their whole heart on it because it's coming from somebody else. You know, everybody will always say how their service is fantastic, but when someone else says it, it means more. It just simply does. All right, so we're going to go to our website here just to see how we're doing overall. Oh, what happened to it? It was just there a second ago. Just great. This is our Facebook site for Phoenix Business Exchange. Okay, and this is where we are right here. So we're at the area where we're looking at pbex.ca, and our member of the week is Bernie Franzgrote. Oh, fancy that. That's awesome. Bernie heads up many different groups and different efforts to try to connect people. He's our connector. If you want to know anything, literally anything, if you talk to Bernie, chances are he's had a podcast on it. He's had a guest that knows something about what he does. So he's probably the best human Rolodex you can probably get. He's just very well connected, knows a lot of people all over the world, and so on. We have 4 chapters that we're working within our Monday, Wednesday, and now our Thursday group. We have our Zoom is embedded in these red buttons. So if you want to come and join us, if you have a business and you want some just another way or a different way to be able to connect to people, being able to just send out emails, like literally thousands of them, is not always the best thing. You're always looking at such a wide scope. So it's really good when people can meet you. They can find a way to trust you, and if they're looking at that service, they're looking at it from a bigger perspective because people will connect right when they need the services that they need. We also have an after hours group where we meet once a month at 7 p.m. usually, and it's usually the last Tuesday of the month. This works out to Tuesday the 30th, and that's Penny Lee heads that up. Penny Lee Prevost heads that up, and we work that into like a mastermind group, that kind of thing. All right. We have many other things going on. We got the Canada Growth Network every Monday at 1. And East Trade Winds happens on the Tuesdays. Bernie again heads that up. And we have our Bell's Corners. Our next get together physically is our Bell's Corners group. We're going to be at Hive. I hope that makes sense. At Hive. And we're going to be on Zoom and we're going to be in person at the same time. So those that want to come out, it's at 1749, I believe, Courtwood.
1745.
1745 Courtwood, and it's just off of Woodward and Maitland area type thing. And if you, it's a great time to be able to get good food, and it's a wonderful place to meet. The conference room is very professional. They certainly know what they're doing. So And of course, the QR directory. If you again, this is great. We put that in there because if you meet somebody at a supermarket or whatever, and they say, and you overhear that they're selling their house and they're looking for a realtor, well, by golly, I think we have somebody, and you can just simply scroll down and find the lady. There she is. And with your phone, oh, I don't know if it'll work on my computer, but there it is. There's Kelly's QR. And basically, you just on your phone make that larger, and you could transfer that information, that contact information, over to someone else's phone, which is the best. It is better than a business card because business cards are lost, but the any contacts that goes on our phone, we tend to hang on to them. I still have contacts from 20 years ago. I've had the same phone number for 20 years, and so somehow the contacts just stay in there. There's probably over 1,500 contacts, but it is good that you can have it because when things services comes up that you're looking for, it's very good to be able to connect to that person. In terms of business, we have about 25,000, and I know that's low. We've got many people that we are encouraging that we're in our first week kind of thing. Basically first to second week. If there is any business that you've done in the month of May for our members, if you can just let us know, we can add that figure to the scoreboard. It gives us a measuring thing. We're at 108 referrals so far this year. We always do about 250 to 300 a year, so that's about on target there. We're just a little over halfway. We're at 5 million in terms of overall business over the last 10 years. And so it's wonderful being able to do that. All our members get an e-card so we can connect. And here's a QR. So Phoenix has its own e-card, and it gives you more information about what we do. If you want to apply, there you go. But we'd like to have you come in for a few times just to get a feel for the group, get an idea, and then we'd be happy to have you as representing whatever category that is in there. We not only refer business, but we are very into the charities. The ones that we're really supporting this year is the Canada Food Cupboard. It's a local food bank that is great for the people in the west of Ottawa, basically. And we are doing a charity golf tournament on August the 14th with St. Louis Bar and Grill, and we're really happy to be a part of all of that to raise money for the Canada Food Cupboard. So it's a great cause, and we're happy to do that. So if you're a member of Phoenix, then you're also indirectly a part of all the things that we do. So it's always good to be able to see what we do. So a little bit of education, and we're going to turn it over to Kelly Harrigan, and she has a wealth of information she'd like to show us. So Kelly, over to
Good
you.
morning. Thank you so much for that great intro, Tony. And I appreciate you highlighting our QR codes and our contact cards. I ought to be utilizing that just a little bit more. So thank you for that healthy reminder. Okay, so for today's Education Minute, I would like to briefly talk about something that we don't often think of as business professionals, and it is about boundaries. Oftentimes, we think about boundaries, we think about keeping people out or excluding or controlling. But in reality, from my experience in particular, having healthy boundaries is about protecting your ability to stay focused on task and focused on what matters most. So imagine that you're working on something very important. For this scenario, let's say you're a mortgage honey, Jackie, and you're crunching some numbers and you've got client information on 5 different tabs, and you're preparing to follow up with your client. You're in a productive flow, your thoughts are organized, you're in your flow. Then an interruption happens. Maybe it's you're working from home and a family member comes in, or a pet, or you get a phone call, and you it diverts your attention, it keeps you away, takes you away from what you're working on. All of a sudden, what could have become like a little quick note, a little small distraction becomes an immersive conversation. Someone has taken your attention, or you've given your attention away, and you're no longer in that productive flow. Um, Takes you a while to conclude what you're discussing. Then eventually you come back to the original client spreadsheet that you've been working on, or the crunching your numbers. Something that could have taken half an hour of really focused time has now become an hour and a half, maybe more. Yes, you've accomplished a great conversation with someone. Maybe that is an income generating conversation as well. We don't, in this scenario, sure, let's go with that. Let's say it's an income generating conversation. So you've had an amazing income generating conversation with a different individual and you're feeling pleased about that. However, the business that you have currently is going unaddressed. It's a little bit neglected now, due to the flow of the momentum being pulled away. It's not a bad thing. You're not wrong for allowing this, but one safeguard that I like to implement is asking the question, does this need my attention right now? Or can I complete what I'm currently doing? Can I focus on my task at hand before taking another task? And in my experience, when I've gotten those texts from clients saying, "Hey, can I ask you something really quick?" I can respond, but I've now started because I have, as a realtor, as all of us, I'm sure, have about 14 balls in the air that we have to keep up. So in order to continue the flow and the momentum, just try a little bit of boundary building, a little bit of, yes, give me half an hour, I'll get back to you. Take a little note, jot something down, set a calendar reminder or an alarm, then get right back on task to what you've been doing. In my experience, this is going to help you keep your workflow going. It's going to help you um, it's not disrespectful for those who are interrupting. I say interrupting, but they don't know who are reaching out to you. In fact, it's a signal of professional courtesy that when you're working on something for them, you're with them. You're working on that task exclusively. If I'm preparing a comparative market analysis for a client and another client calls, I can say, "Hi, I'm just in the middle of something. I'll get back to you in half an hour." We can always have a brief discussion if they're like, "Oh, I really needed to talk to you." Great, let's work it out. Let's discuss that because your time is important. My client's time is important. Their needs are important, but I do have a service flow that I have to attend to during the day. So maintaining your boundaries is something that you can absolutely start experimenting and implementing. It might free you up in terms of productivity. It might also free you up in terms of frustration or that feeling of not getting enough done during a day. If you need boundary pointers, you can always give me a call. I will let you know when I'm free if you call and I'm busy. But it's something to consider. There's a lot of information out there regarding how to politely maintain a boundary, how to set a boundary, how to respect a boundary, and why boundaries are so important. So that's my little education minute. Boundaries.
Yes, that is so true. I've seen myself exactly what you're saying. A half-hour job ends up taking 2 hours because it just diverting. Sometimes when a call comes in and you know what they want, and then I said, okay, I'll answer this. It'll be quick. It usually isn't, but you're
Yeah, and
so
if we're working for, let's say that we're employees of an organization, that organization has an expectation that we will focus on what we're getting paid to do. Well, we're our organization. We are our employers. So that same standard of diligence apply. So whenever I'm researching permits or building applications for someone who wants to buy a house and they're wondering, is anything going to go up here? Are they going to build or whatever? Let's say that is the scenario. When I'm in that research, when I'm doing that, I often will turn my phone on to do not disturb or work mode because I will get pulled away and I know myself well enough to know that I go into my work for my clients, my buyers or sellers very deeply. I do a lot of research. I'm very data driven. So I have to accumulate that data. That means I have to focus on things. Excuse me. And if I don't, I actually just end up getting mad at myself for letting someone pull me away. because I know better. I ought to do better. And if I can preserve the integrity of this half-hour task, then I'm able to freely let that task go. I deliver the deliverables. I'm able to speak to the new individual, find out authentically, what do you need now, rather than having my mind focused on what I ought to be doing according to my schedule. So it is better all around for everyone involved. Thank you, Tony. You're on mute, but thank you for giving me an opportunity
That's great.
to
Yeah.
talk about boundaries.
Thank you very much. That's great. Okay, let's go to our. Well, actually, let's start with Jacqueline and do our introductions. And I don't know if the June is a different month that you can offer different things, but over to you.
I thank you. And so today, I have to say, I have my voice today, even though as I woke up, I did open that door and it was a beautiful warm breeze, not quite the breeze that Sam had when he was exploring in his far off land. But I did take a big, beautiful breath. I lifted my shoulders, I took them back and I released them down. And I thought, I am so blessed to be in a space that I can picnic, that I can order out, that I can climb a tree. I am so blessed that I know people who are looking for a helping hand. So this could be the month of helping hand. Right now, I can say to you, it is the month of Indigenous peoples. It is the month of summer's coming. It is the month that Bank of Canada decided to hold bank prime rates. I would always ask of you to consider exactly what I've just said. When you open the door, when you lift your shoulders, when you take them back, drop them down, consider what your next money steps are. What is your money flow looking like? Are you looking to find equity in the home to invest in another property? Are you looking for equity to invest in your education? Are you looking for equity in your property to allow you to explore? When you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, you need to contact your mortgage honey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. And any BAMs or referrals?
Not at this moment, but thank you.
Okay.
It's now, thank you, Kelly. The boundaries are open and it's time to
And once you get the money you need from Jacqueline, you need to buy something big. So let's go over to Kelly and see what we can spend it on.
Thank you, Tony. That's pretty fantastic. Okay, hi, my name is Kelly Harrigan. I am your resident real estate agent. I work for Keller Williams. I serve both Ottawa and Toronto regions, and I help people navigate simple and complex real estate transactions with confidence and expertise. Before real estate, I spent about 20 years in customer service, working in complex problem solving, management, etc. So I'm very comfortable solving problems. And to me, your real estate needs is just a puzzle. It's just a problem to solve. Let's figure it out. Let's see what you need. So contact me at any point in time. If I don't get back to you right away, it's because I'm working on something already, but I will follow up. I'm very good at following up. I'm currently working with a couple of buyers as well. So I specialize in the luxury sector. I've got sales and purchases over the $1 million mark. That being said, I will absolutely help you find your condo or point you in the right direction to help. So that's it. You can contact me 613-416-3743. Email me kellyharrigan@kw.com. I will post my contact information here. No BAMs this week. I'm actually preparing for an event, a personal event coming up in the near future. So I've taken a little bit of attention away from 100% business focused, and I'm incorporating a little bit of work-life balance and focusing on yeah, upcoming events and holidays. So I might not be as present on social media or within the Phoenix group for the coming 2 weeks, perhaps. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make that Bell's Corners event on the 30th, but I think everyone else should.
Mhm. Oh, there'll be more for sure. It's all good. Thanks a lot, Kelly. And Jacqueline, you have a question.
I have a comment because when you had suggested about big big things to do with money. All I could think about is having your car taken a look at. And I was thinking about Sam, so that's why I had to put my hand up because Kelly's doing the big stuff, but it's the things that will get you to that big stuff, like a car, like a vehicle. And so that's why my hand was up because I thought, wow, I have to comment.
And without someone like Sam, we
I
couldn't
know.
go to the homes. We couldn't see them. I couldn't get to your house and help you list it. So we need people like Sam very much. Thank you for that, Jackie.
Thanks a lot, Jacqueline. And Catherine or Kat, how are you? How are you feeling? Able to
Yeah.
let us know what would you like to talk about today?
I don't want to talk about me. I'm boring. I want to talk about social stuff. No, not social media. I always talk about that. I want to talk about Phoenix's social event that's coming up on July 9th. It's at Local Heroes at 7 p.m. So come along, catch up with your Phoenix member friends. It's $10, but you bring a friend and we'll cover the cost of your friend's entry. So the idea is that we're going to help build up our membership. We're going to introduce you to new people that you've never met, give you brand new connections that can lead to more referrals, more deeper, meaningful relationships, friendships, whatever, Phoenix likes to be social. So I'm going to call every one of you and obviously other members as well. And I am going to ask you if you would like to come, but put in your calendar, July 9th, 7 p.m., Local Heroes. And if you're catching this on social media, just drop us a message on social and I'll reach back out to you. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks a lot, Kat. Okay, and over to Sam.
Thank you, Tony. I was just checking July 9th. That's a Thursday. That's good because I can attend. If it was Wednesday, I probably couldn't because I play baseball on Wednesdays. Anyway, Sam Stores ConnectedCars.ca. There's my contact information in the chat. Dash cameras are my main thing, like this one here. Install them nice and neat in the car. Especially if you're a real estate person and drive around a lot, you need a dash camera because you never know when somebody's going to hit and run and then or blame you for the accident and you end up in court and all kinds of expense. Anyway, you might want to think about that, Kelly. Uh, let's see here. Besides that, I do oil changes, brake jobs, minor repairs, things like that to cars. This week I'm talking about listening to your car. If you're a person like myself, you like listening to music in the car, but every once in a while I recommend that you turn the music down and maybe listen to your car because you might hear something that needs to be looked at and repaired before it becomes a big problem. Several things in your car will give you warnings. Wheel bearings, they get a howling sound. Tie rod ends will make a clicking sound when you're turning. Axle CV joints will also make a clicking sound when you're turning. Um, Rattling, things like rattling usually is not so bad when it comes to going over bumps. This could be stabilizer links. But some of those things can be, like I say, a big problem if you leave them, where you end up stranded or cause an accident because your wheel is popped off or worse. So I do recommend once in a while turning down that music and listening to your car in case it's making some noises. Um, Let's see here. Besides that, let's see. Bams wise, Eric Sinego was here. What the heck was that?
Tony's playing the Alps. He's got a little bit of an echo for you there. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, anyway, let's see. Eric Sinego was here yesterday. Did an oil change for him, and he got himself a new phone. So I connected it to the stereo system that I put in his car several years ago. He wasn't sure how to connect it, so I Bluetoothed it and make sure that it was working before he left. And then on this Saturday, Terry Wood, former Phoenix member, is going to be here. He has a problem with the backup camera in his car. He puts it in reverse and he sees all kinds of fogginess. So the lens in the back end is damaged. Probably got some moisture because of salt in it, and I'm putting a new one in for him. That's it for me. Sam Stores, ConnectedCars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
Okay, thanks a lot, Sam. Awesome. And over to Bernie.
Thank you, Tony. I've posted some stuff already in the chat. You can see who's coming into the East Trade Winds next week and Canada Growth Network. Canada Growth Network is Dennis Powers from Cheeky Monkey Media. It's a tongue twister for the, earlier in the morning. Anyhow, he works with non-for-profits and charities. That's kind of his target goal. He's located in British Columbia, and he serves North America. East Tradewinds is Erica Lair, and she's a fractional CEO, and she helps businesses. She's based out of Europe, but she services all of North America. You'll also notice something else in the chat, and that is the Joseph McGuire. He's got a free 2-hour session on I believe it's 21st or 24th, about negotiation and how to, read the room, how to read the space, how to read people. It's a mastermind, and that's what he does. He helps hire people. You want to learn more about all these kind of different folks that have spoken at these events or been on the recent business podcast, then just head to the blog.knackforbusiness.com and you'll find out more details. Everything that's been going on since February has been posted in there. So it's a continuous evolution. And BAM-wise, let's see. We've chatted with Tony and Kat. Tony was at East Trade Winds, and what else has been on the going? There's something else. I'm just missing it, and I can't think of it right now. But I'm going to swing the mic back over to you, Tony.
Thanks a lot, Bernie. And I was in the East Trade Winds, the group there on Tuesdays, and ongoing business with Eric, Josh, as per usual, and sent Shane a recommendation, and of course Eric got a recommendation last night. The person was looking for an accountant because their accounting was a little bit complicated, and I said, I have just the guy for you. So it was very nice to be able to send that person to Eric. So today what I wanted to do, it was go through a little bit of what it would be like if you come and see me, and give you a little bit of a tour of my place. But before we get into that, just to show how to get to one of the things that when people come in, they get to a certain point where after the tuning, depending on what we were working on, recently I had a person come in and they were working on, they're very passive. In other words, they don't like to start anything. They want everyone else to take the hold of something, and a lot of people will regard this person as lazy. There's no passion, that kind of thing. But there are crystals that are stimulating in that way that will make a person, and they feel it, they just don't know what it is, and in that sensations. But there are crystals that emit certain vibrations that help us. So right after a tuning, they feel good while they're here, of course. They'll leave and they'll feel good. But after a couple of days, it starts wearing off because you get into your own lifestyle, you get back into your apartment or your home, and you go through the same thing, and eventually your body starts to go back to where it used to be. So what we do many times is we'll have the person leave with a crystal. A lot of times they'll have their own crystals, so we'll encourage them to start using them again, whether it's black tourmaline, whether it's various crystals that we're working with. The things that would make a person passive, the opposite of that is to make them so they can initiate something, so they feel that they can are certain to move forward, so there's no hesitation. There are many stones that can do that. One that comes to mind that I gave this person was called sunstone. And it comes in many different kinds. It comes in a little stone. You can also get it as a bracelet. So I'm going to show you that through the whole process. But in doing that, there's a way that you could identify it by yourself. In other words, people will say, well, what crystal do I need? What do I need? I hear that quite a lot. And there's so many different kinds. There's literally hundreds. There's probably about 30 or 40 that are main ones, and the other ones are very specific. that it does. There are stones that are for grief, if somebody passes away, or if you lose somebody in a relationship, there's that grief, and there's stones that will just help with that, so that you still feel it, but it's not as potent. It's not as it sort of gives you that inner love and realizing that there's it's okay. I mean, this is a part of life, but you might hear that, but feeling it is very different, right? So they're able to move on a little further and do other things. So when we look at crystals, I'm just going to show you a very quick illustration here. Hope I can do this. Okay, this is our website, lovehigherself.com. And one of the first things you can do, of course, you can choose our crystal prescription, which I'm going to get into in a minute. You can book a session with me, or you can book a point with our sound bath. All right. So the crystal prescription itself, what does it do? Well, what we've done is we worked everything in reverse. Whatever a crystal does, which is usually called, that's in our library. When we look at our library, well, what crystals do we have? But the first time people will look at that, they'll say, well, what does that crystal do? So this is backwards. So what we've done here is we've put all the emotions of what a person would go through, whether it's depression, anxiety, whether they want to show some inner growth. That's the one that I showed this other person. Where you spur your creativity. If you're a male and you just don't feel like taking the lead on anything, you're not assertive. Not that you need to be assertive or aggressive, but there are traits of being masculine that are very positive, meaning masculine energy will want to get things done. There's a checklist, and some people don't have any way to do that. Now, it doesn't mean it has to be a male or a female. We all have male and female energies. It's all about balance here. So it's if it's in a masculine example, just to give you a quick view. So if you want to bring in more masculine type energies, these are the crystals that'll do it. So aventurine, blue, black tourmaline's great, and my favorite is pyrite. So when you go right into the to that world, pyrite is almost what they used to call fool's gold. Okay, it's this crystal that has this look of gold. It has a glistening to it. All right, and here's a little explanation of what pyrite does. But the biggest thing is that it's a stone of manifestation, helping one turn their dreams and desires into reality. A lot of people will just want to talk about how great something can be, but there's no action. One of the biggest things about coaches is that they say, this is all the things you need to do step by step. But sometimes when we make a step, it's not the fact that it's going to be easy. In fact, some of the easiest steps are the hardest things for some people to do. Attracting abundance and prosperity. Well, if there's something in the way there, if you knew that there, let's say when you were a kid, you had a neighbor that was very wealthy. They had the big gold gates, and when it opened up, they left with their car with their golf cart on it, and they were very well off. But this person was always very mean to people. It was always you saw them one time kick a dog or throw a cat over the fence, which I did as a kid. Then you're kind of thinking, and your mind sort of starts associating wealth with being that kind of a mean person. So that could be embedded in a child that you wouldn't realize that as they grow up, then they want to be able to attract wealth and get somewhere. When they almost get there, it's like, I don't want to be there. And it's like, why not? I don't know. I don't know what is going on. So when you start tracking back and you realize you're identifying with a richer person that you don't like, you're not going to like yourself. So you have to realize that those are separate things, because there are very wealthy people that are extremely nice people. So we're just saw this one person that was mean. And so you thought everybody had to be that if they're wealthy. All right? So it's that, a separation sort of thing. And pyrite does that. It separates that so that you feel that you still want abundance to come to you. You want things to come. So having a little piece of pyrite, and I'll show you some stones that I have on that, in your pocket or your purse or whatever would be very good. All right. We also have it in bracelet form and little stones and so on. But the whole idea is to be able to bring in that strength and willpower. What also pyrite does is that it helps with indigestion, swelling pain, blood disorders, bronchitis, and so on. And it's all that does very different things. Okay, so that's the part of it there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get my phone here and see if I can go on to. How do I share the screen here? Oh, gee, I should have. It was easy when I looked at this. Let's just hang on here. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see this. Just one second. I'm just going to stop my share here. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's probably going to be big enough. Now, if you want, you can also put your cursor on that particular window, and with the three dots, just push pin. You'll get a list of things, and if you pin it, it'll fill the whole screen for you guys. Okay, so let's see if we can go downstairs, and I'll show you what my studio looks like down here. Okay, we'll take a little thing. I'll just get the sound going here. It's not sure. Can you guys hear me? Oh, on my phone, it's so different. Holy moly. Okay. Let's see if I have. Is that on mute?
It is on mute, Tony.
It is on mute.
So what I'll do, Tony, I'm gonna mute your mic on your desktop, and then you go turn your mute on or unmute your phone. Okay?
How to? Oh, gee. Okay. How do I take it off mute? Okay. Oh,
Turn the.
okay. I think I got that.
Nope.
Is that okay? Oh, there we go. There we
Perfect. Perfect.
go. Okay. All right. So let's see if I can get in here. Okay. 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 Well, when you come downstairs, you guys hear me okay? All right. Okay. So when you come downstairs, there's a number of crystals I have right coming down the stairs. These are all like loose stones. One of the biggest ones that we have here are black tourmaline, which is very popular. Red jasper, we got citrine. This citrine is amazing. Having one of these in your pocket, in your jeans, there's a small mini pocket that I get people to put it in, and this attracts wealth. This attracts money, and having it with a few coins. So if you have, let's say, $2 or $3 in your pocket, you put citrine beside it on the left side, it will attract more money to you energetically. Okay, so when we look at some of this stuff, it's not what the stone looks like or does. It's what energy that comes out of it that helps us as humans, basically. Okay, so this is our tumbled stone line. These are some of these are very small, and they're supposed to be, because like this one is a stone of amethyst. That's one of the most popular stones going. And this if for women being intuitive, a lot of them will just place it in their bra. They'll put it in their pocket, in their purse, whatever that is close to them. Okay, and this is great. So it all has different values and what these stones can do. I have over 100 different kinds. We're not going to go through all of them, I mainly wanted to show you a little bit of what the power bracelets do. So I have a whole line here of the different bracelets that you can get. This one's blue lace, which is wonderful for peace and harmony. A person that wants to improve their intuition, want to be able to be inspired and get back on the track. This is a great stone to do that with. This is a very special stone. This druzy. This is one of the new ones that we have coming in. It's wonderful if you're doing spiritual work and you want just to get that that feeling that things are happening in your life. But if there's a QR code that I have, and it's sort of the library. So if you scan that with your phone, you'll get onto all of our libraries. And here is another QR that has the crystal prescription, what I showed you before. But it just goes to show that depending on what a person's looking for, there's amethyst, and we have that in the regular. We also have it in amethyst with some lava stones. Lava stones are great when it comes to you're looking at the if you have essential oils, you can put a little bit of that, one drop. It's all you need. One little drop diluted in water, and that will have an odor of about 2 weeks in there because it's porous stone. It has holes in it, and it will just give you that nice smell. I like to put orange on there because you'll smell like orange, or you can put peppermint, which is a nice peppy type of essential oils, or whatever your favorite one is. If you have a cold, one that I've been able to talk to one person. They have a really bad cold, so they put eucalyptus on there. Then they constantly have that eucalyptus energy on them all the time. So it's all so the lava stones are great that way. And so it just keeps there's so much here for intuition. Azurite's good for becoming more intuitive. Black tourmaline is wonderful for clearing negative energy. I definitely would take one of these to a family reunion if there's some discord. Usually, or if you meet your ex-wife at a place, or she's going to be there or whatever. So the idea here is it keeps that negative energy away from you. Black tourmaline is amazing. It's just like a sponge. It holds negative energy. It loves it. So when you're wearing this, it will take you'll still have that weird feeling of a person, let's say, that you don't get along with, but you won't get their energy, and that's what we normally feel afterwards. And it comes in different sizes. There's an 8 millimeter here that you can see. Then I have one that's a little wider. This one's a 12 millimeter. These guys are big, and I like to put that on the left side because it's everything coming in. Left is receiving. Okay, so left is always good when you're receiving anything. You don't want to receive any negative energy. It goes on your left. It's also good there too because most people are right-handed and they could write uh, no problem with their right hand. But if they put it on their right, it's very difficult with this kind of a thing to write as well. So being on the left is wonderful. Bloodstone, wonderful if you have pains. A lot of women will pick up this for cramps at certain times of the month. The guys will take it if they have sore knees, sore ankles, and I've prescribed this to many people that have physical pain, physical chronic pain, and yeah, it's wonderful for the physical stuff. All right, and we go through it. One of the biggest things in Howlite here is if you're having a hard time sleeping. So this is more of a calming thing. If you have a hard time sleeping, you have a hard time doing anything, and I can make this in various sizes. Before it was very static. I had only small sizes, but then I'd get some pretty big guys that says, "Oh man, it's so tight." So now we could make it any size. We have up to 6 different sizes. This is our size bracelets. So it goes everywhere from extra small to extra large. So we can actually put it on the person, and whichever feels right, then we could make the bracelet in that size. So it's wonderful. We just need to know the circumference of your wrist. So when you're you got a measuring tape or something that you could measure the circumference of the wrist, and we will make something for you. Hematite is another great one for moving forward. They love this. This is a great one for willpower. If you're going through exams or a really heavy time for intensity, like you're studying for exams and so on, this is a great one for students. A great one for that. Again, it's all about having that boost. Um, Healerite is a great one for elderly. This one's a very good for just feeling that you still have value in life. Where a lot of elders, once their kids are grown up and they're moved away, they feel like their value isn't there anymore. So this one's a good one for self value. I gave a lot of these. My mom has one of these, so she's wearing it all the time. She loves it, and she always feels like she's still part of the family, kind of thing. And so it's a great thing to have. So once we connect to what the crystal does to the various things, and we got over 100 different kinds here. We've ventured off into many different ones that we haven't had before. Like charoite was one of the hardest stones to get. It's quite rare. This I would maybe prescribe to one person out of every maybe 200. This is a kicking your butt type of stone. If you really want to get into your spiritual nature, you really want to get into your path, your destiny. This is the one, but it's not for everybody. It'll make you miserable if there's any hiccup or if there's any hesitation. Usually, I'll wait until I tune a person at least a couple of times so that they're really gung ho. They really want to go through their spiritual powers and stuff, then we'll be able to make you one of these. But again, it's for certain people. So calcite is also very good for persistence. People that will try things once or twice and then they quit. Okay, this is a good stone for them. It keeps them going, keeps them hope alive. The self worth is good. The intuition, that kind of thing, and they start looking at things in a different way. All right. Just some other highlights here. We're now carrying pure silver. Silver, when you put it on the body, is extremely important. Hospitals used to have silverware in when they were feeding their patients in the 30s, the 20s and 30s. They stopped doing it once they realized they were getting better a lot faster, and they started replacing it with stainless steel. The sheets were going from linen to plastic and other things that, again, it was just another narrative for that. But yeah, so having silver on you, silver necklaces, silver bracelets are very good. Okay. And we also have gone into a lot of other metals like copper. And then we've also got this one is antique copper. It's a very nice, this one's shiny like this when it's new, but it turns into something like this after a while. You can see that the shininess has come off, which it's supposed to. And then you get the real pure copper that's touching your skin. Okay, you can see my wrist is a little bit green. That's what it's supposed to be because it shows the body is now absorbing the copper, and it's good for your liver, kidneys, and a whole bunch of other organs that need that copper in there. We've also got magnetic copper, and this is a magnetic hematite, and we can make this to size. We have it in 6 sizes, depending on the person. But this is wonderful. It's great for vertigo, balance. With the magnet itself is a great health concern. You can read up on it, and they're really advertising a lot of different ways you can use copper to be able to get things going in your way. Okay. And here's another more stones I have. The different ones, and it's all depends on what a person needs. The one that I looked at that I just did with a client recently was lepidolite. This is emotional healing. This is good if you have just like, again lost a relationship or you've a loved one has passed on or something. You've got you wear this for a good month afterwards, and it helps with the emotional healing part. Okay, because we not only miss them physically, there's so many emotions that come up. Grandma's pie and grandma's, what grandma used to do, and she's no longer here, sort of thing. And so this helps you through that initial stage with the emotion part. All right, so this is a great one that way. So we also have some new ones that I've got here is shungite. You've heard about me talking about this. If you're surrounded by electronics, shungite is what you got to have around you. Like when I'm teaching a class actually on Sunday. I'm going to have like 4 computers around me. I've got the my router about 10 feet from me. There's the microphones. There's speakers and cameras, and like there's a ton of EMFs that I'm going to be surrounded by. So I'm going to be wearing one of these. Actually, the actual one is this one. I usually wear this kind of a bracelet. So I have shungite around the router, and this actually absorbs all the EMFs, the electromagnetic fields of electronic products, and it's quite harmful for your body if over a long period of time. Normally, I don't have that much electronics around me, but I know like people like Bernie, like he has double screens or maybe triple screen on his stuff, and he's got surrounded by electronics. So, he would be a good candidate for this type of thing, or just a little stone is all you'd probably need, so that it's something between you and the electronics around there. But all these um, crystals, they have a certain quality, and so depending on what it is that we're working on, we can definitely recommend something that will be of great value to you, and it'll help you get into whatever it is that you're trying to do. Um, but yeah, okay. So that's, I'm not sure what the time is. They're getting probably close here when I come back.
You're 6 minutes over, Tony.
Okay.
Mute your phone, Tony, or turn it off. I muted your main mic.
Thank you, sir. Okay, awesome. Okay, how are we doing? Oh, we got a little overtime. Okay, so I thought it was about that. So that's basically what crystals do. Okay, we can do so many things with them. Okay, any questions? Do you have somebody that is going through something that
I have a
is it
question, Tony.
anxiety, depression?
Kelly here with a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead,
good.
Kelly. Yeah.
Hi. So I've heard people talk about cleaning your crystals. I assume that does not mean once you leave it in your little jean pocket, it goes through the machine. So what would you recommend people do in in order to clean? Because you said that I think one of them absorbs energy,
Yes.
but I'm
Yes.
assuming it needs a good shower afterwards. So
Yeah,
how?
an energetic shower.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
different ways to clear them. There's somebody that has just gone into the energy world and they're not really sure. Sometimes just leaving it in the sun does it. It has to be at least a day in the sun and leaving it overnight with the overnight with the moon. So it has to see the moon energy and then the sun energy. Even if the moon isn't out, the energy of the moon is still there. So that's the idea. That's a simple way of clearing. Of course, once you start to get into it, you'll realize that it sometimes isn't enough, and you need to have a little bit more. So there are other ways, whether it's through sound, whether it's through just different intention. You can hold it in your right hand, because anything on the right side comes out of you. So if I'm sending light to something, I could have a crystal in my hand and light up that crystal like a light bulb. It takes a little bit of practice to do that, but you can clear it in about 10 seconds. Our bodies are very, very powerful. We just don't know it, but we are very powerful that way. But yeah, we one thing you have to really watch is selenite. Selenite is sort of a clear. I have one downstairs, but it looks like soap. Basically, it's a white, almost translucent crystal. But if that gets wet, it'll dissolve. That's the only thing you don't want to put in the wash physically, because it will sort of break down. It's not meant for water, but it's a self cleaning crystal. If you have a selenite dish, you could put actually other crystals in it, and it will clear other crystals.
It sounds like you could write an encyclopedia.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a vast
Thank
thing.
you for that. It was very educational.